Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown, along with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber.
Hello.
And this is State of Atlanta.
Did you add some like hi-hat to that music, or did it start getting a little warbly there?
I don't know. It's maybe the file's corrupted or something like that.
Sounded a little different there, right, Tim? Did you hear it too?
Did have a louder finish to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's exactly how we should start this whole thing. I'm stuttering already. I've only had two beer already.
Well, we're not being critical of you. It's fine.
That's cool.
Calm down, David. Calm down.
I take it all personally. It's game week, guys. It's game week. We've been waiting for this. We have. It's been 189 days, and we recorded 26 episodes since we last had a game to talk about. It's kind of amazing. It's been going along this long.
I mean, luckily it's not been. Luckily we're not having a huge delay. I mean, right? It's only September 15th. You know. I mean, we had our first game delayed, our second game canceled,
and then like an entire hiatus of other sports for 6 months. But
right.
Yeah. So yeah, we got the Ragin Cajuns of Lafayette, Louisiana coming in next week. They had a good game last week. Ryan, I know that you said you were going to take notes and write everything down for us. What do you got about what's the inside scoop?
Well, no, I didn't need to do that because I told you guys in the last call exactly how it was going to go. That Ooh La La would pull out the win, and they did, and I didn't even have to watch it to be able to tell you that. So
you did say that, and we did make fun of you. I thought they would be competitive in that game. I knew they'd be competitive in the game. And I thought an upset was possible, but the way in which it happened, that does not bode well for us this Saturday. It was kind of a scary performance on their part.
Yeah, but you know, there's always that like coming down. So you know, you show up and you show out, and then the very next week you're like, well, we're kind of hot stuff, and then they kind of fizzle out, and turns out they used up everything last week.
So you're saying we're the trap game for them?
Oh, we're gonna win. Yeah, we're gonna open it up and we're gonna win.
We don't need a trap game, right, David? We're just going to win, period. It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it would still be their trap game if we win, or when we win, right?
We're going to win by 10.
Win by 10.
Win by 10.
Early predictions.
I like that. Yeah. You guys can just tune out to the rest of the episode. We know what's going to happen on Saturday. Tune back in next week. And listen to 30 seconds of finding out what Ryan says about our game against who do we have? Charlotte next week. Yeah. All right, I'm writing down. We have we win by 10. So yeah, Tim, what did you think of that game?
I was thoroughly surprised by their performance. They looked like the much stronger team. I mean, I don't know. There's been this thing floating around college football about teams not practicing tackling, and
that was what was it? The Navy excuse was they weren't practicing tackling or something like that.
Right, they didn't practice tackling, therefore they lose 50-something to 3. Right.
Right.
Well, that's part of being on a team and being a good team is actually practicing. So you can't just be like, well, we didn't practice, so that's why we're not good. Well, you're still just not good.
Right.
I mean.
Well, I had put down in my notes when I was watching the game, drunkenly typing into my phone, that I felt like Iowa State looked like the more skilled and talented team out there. They just weren't like coming down with the balls or like making the plays and stuff like that. It's just that Lafayette was playing more just regular good old fashioned football without it making
hard-nosed football.
They looked ready to play, right?
Yeah,
it looked like they were like for halftime. It looked like they were scrapping to get to their 14 points, right? Mm-hmm. They barely got to there, and then from there on, obviously they didn't score at all, and Louisiana just basically took over the rest of the game.
Well, I mean, so one of the things I put down is Iowa State. There has never been a better situation of a team quitting during a game. Now, it was not till 5 minutes till the end that you really saw it, but it was 5 minutes to go. Ragin Cajuns up by 10, and Iowa State stops calling timeouts. They've got 2 timeouts left. Stop the clock. Hopefully, it's 10-point difference. Stop them there. Hopefully, get the ball back. Do something with it. And the coach literally just let it go. Let the time run out and not worry about it. And in that time, Iowa State got their only rushing touchdown of the game. They were outscored 24 points from the last few seconds of the first half throughout the rest of the game. I feel like the team just really just stopped caring about it. Just no interest in it whatsoever at all. So hopefully that was the case. And it's not that Lafayette was just that damn awesome, but
I think they're that awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely for us. But I think,
we are too.
I think we're awesome, but I think it's a trap game for them, like Ryan was saying. I think that I think they could come out flat. They could be like, we're number one in some poll somewhere, and we're just gonna walk out there and we're gonna win. We don't have to try.
Well, they're not adding teams that aren't playing to the polls anymore, right?
No, Alabama is still number one. They haven't played yet.
They promised us. They promised us if they weren't playing, then they weren't going to be ranked.
They're not adding teams that are going to play. They have teams.
Okay, that's fine. But the people who have canceled their season, they're not ranked, right?
That would be a crazy poll right now, right? If you took all the teams that haven't played at all, you just had the ones playing.
I actually am sort of okay with that, like with saying like they're going to play and so they're part of it, but my major problem was the ones that were like, they're not going to play at all, but we're still going to rank them.
No, I disagree completely. I think make fun of this chaotic situation, and the ESPN guys, the coaches poll people, all those 8 people, whoever they pull out there that do this thing, they get paid to rank football teams. They should have totally said, we're not going to count any team that has not played their game yet. And you would have the weirdest looking top 25 ever right now. It would skew results forever. Like, App State hasn't been ranked in the top 5 since 2020, I think that would have been hilarious. We should have gotten that. Give us some form of enjoyment out of this horrible situation. Give us something stupid to look forward to. I think that would have been a lot fun. But I like that stuff. So. So heading into the game, I was looking at this, trying to think about it. We've only won our week one game 5 times in our school history. So we're batting 500 there.
I was going to say, it's 5 out of 10, right?
I guess for anybody else, that would be considered bad. But for us, that's considered, hey, that's probably better than I expected it was going to be.
Yeah, one more, and we're on the winning side of that,
Exactly. Let's get it going. I actually spoke with Josh from the Ragin Review podcast just a little while ago, and we recorded an interview. He was unable to join us and do video, so we recorded just a traditional podcast interview with him. I will release that along with this tomorrow morning as a part 2 to this week's episode. So everyone listening, make sure you see that in your podcast download. And if you're watching on YouTube, later on, check it out on our podcast page. I don't know if I'm going to upload it to YouTube or not. I'm kind of lazy, and it requires effort on my part. So
are you just like hammered right now because you already did a 45-minute interview?
No, I only drank 1 beer. It was my first beer of the night through there, so I didn't expect it to last that long. So.
Slipping or dedication? I'm not really sure which it is.
It's slipping.
I wanted to save my best drinking time for you guys.
Oh.
All right, so back to what we saw from Lafayette at Iowa State. So here's my thing about the game. They had 1 passing touchdown. It was very impressive. They had a rushing touchdown, like I said earlier, in garbage time of the game. It doesn't count. That touchdown does not count. Iowa State had already given up. It's just the definition of a garbage touchdown. The other 2 touchdowns came from punt return and a kick return. You could call it fluke. You could call it fantastic special teams. It's probably some form of a combination of the 2 of them. But if you can't, I know you can't take those away. Those points actually count. And Ryan's going to give me a hard time about this. And hey, Matt, there's Matt from Ragin Review on the comments right there, insisting it's called Louisiana. I hear you. I'm trying to switch from Ragin Cajun, from Lafayette to Ragin Cajun, but it's a hard pressed thing for me.
Good luck to David.
Yeah, Matt, you're lucky I'm not calling it ooh la la anymore, like Ryan suggests there. But Yeah, yes. So they had those 2 touchdowns from the return game. Now I feel under pressure because we've got one of the Ragin Cajun fans watching us right now, and
don't let that stop you. Come on, man. I know what you think about people from Louisiana.
And they also missed 2 field goals. They actually had to switch out their kicker in the middle of the game because they missed 2 field goals. The game could have been even more of a lopsided upset. So I feel like the good news for them is they got a weekend of a game. They're feeling good about coming in there. We still have the rust to knock off, but I still like our chances of making this a very competitive game, even though they're favored by 16 points, ranked number 19 coming
in. By 10 or more.
Let's just hope we're tackling in our practices.
I think we are tackling in our practice. I think we've been tackling the entire time.
Good. So the line's 16. I thought it opened at 17, so it's come down a little bit.
Has it come down? I didn't check it until today. It was 16 points today, which we've never lost to them by that many points, and we've only ever lost to them. We've played them 4 times before. This is the 5th time. It's the first time they've come into our new stadium.
You're killing it with all these stats, dude.
I had to look it up because I was talking to people who knew what they were talking about, so I didn't want to come across as a complete moron.
Wait, we've never beaten them?
We've never beaten them.
We've gotten close though, right?
Yeah, we've actually 2 of the games back in, I think, 2014 and 2015. One was a Nick Arbuckle game. It was 2 points or 3 points that was down between, and then the other 2 were 14-point games in their favor. So they're favored by 16. They've never beaten us by that much, but those teams are completely different than the teams we have right now, and they've definitely turned a corner and have become a dominant team in the Sun Belt, most in the West for sure, but in the Sun Belt overall. So, yeah.
They're top 3 in the Sun Belt, top 2, right?
Well, it's just them and App State going back and forth in the championship game, isn't it?
Yeah, for like the next couple of years, right? I mean, that's
the past few years and going forward. This will not be this is my prediction. Ryan says that Georgia State wins by 10. My prediction is this is not the only time we see them this season. Is that a prediction?
That's bolder.
All right, how you gonna one up that one, Tim? By giving a realistic prediction?
By laughing at us.
Yeah, I have no.
He's like, I got a beer and I got to laugh.
If we don't win, I don't want to say that.
Whoa, no, Tim.
We win on man. I can't remember the stud kicker we have field goal.
Noel Ruiz, the FCS
collector. He's back. He's back, baby.
He found some eligibility and he came back.
Got 1 more year because of COVID.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to. I realized it was week 1 game, week 1 season, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Maybe I am more wasted than I thought I was. But this week, getting ready for this, I was like, man, I feel optimistic. I feel like I know this is Georgia State week 1. I feel good about our game. I think we're going to come out and win. I think we're going to.
We always do.
I remember the week 1 tailgates were always out there, and we're like, you know what? I feel something special this season. I think we're going to do it. You know, we're in our brand new stadium. You know, looking good. New head coach. Tennessee State Tigers come in and whoop our ass. So.
It does seem to be more common, but I think we've won the last 2 openings, right? I mean, we just Tennessee State, we stuttered, but then we continued on. We've been winning our openers since.
Winning our openers. Well, last year our win, obviously huge with Tennessee, was away, and then the week before, the season before that was Kennesaw State, which we had to come back.
No, but our home opener last year, we won that too, right? I don't know.
We had to come back in that one too. I think we were down by 20 points in the first half.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Right? All that matters is the letter next to the game when you pull it up on ESPN.
All right, Matt says we win 35-14.
Nice. Go, Matt. He's got better than 10 points.
He really
didn't say how many points we're winning by.
He should have picked which team in there, in that little comment there that is the winning team.
That's weird. I don't know. So Ulala doesn't pay him or anything.
I don't know, man. They got I was talking to Josh today. He was sitting there holding a game ball from the Iowa State game. I'm like, come on, man.
Wow.
Come on, equipment, Georgia State equipment. I want a game ball. Give me a game ball.
Nice.
All right. We're hurting his feelings now. He comes back and says the Cajuns win 42-14.
Okay.
No. So obviously, I don't think they're will ever be a more iconic win in Georgia State's history. I shouldn't say it that way. Tennessee was obviously an iconic win. That's one of those wins we'll always talk about. Tennessee, that was just a huge win. Whenever anybody mentions Georgia State, like, oh yeah, you guys beat Tennessee that year. That's awesome. Would this not actually be a bigger win for us? I mean, just single game win, beating a ranked conference opponent versus beating a questionable SEC Power 5 team?
Yeah, I think for me, it's more important because it matters more into getting into the championship and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I still think the Tennessee win is going to go down as like something that's memorable to me forever in a way that beating Ulala on Saturday will not.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Ryan. Like, it's big for the conference, right? We want to win. We want to get into the championship game and potentially face them a second time. But Tennessee by far was just totally unexpected. Knew it's going to happen one of these years. Didn't expect it this soon, and it was sweet when we did it.
I mean, I agree. Like I said, beginning with, the Tennessee game will be the more iconic win, until we beat, a real blue chip type team. But I think beating our first ranked opponent, whoever it may be, I think that's the one that really is kind of that next stepping stone for the Georgia State program. It would actually mean a lot more nationally. We probably got more attention out of the Tennessee win, but I think as far as establishing where our program is, I think being a ranked team is that next step that we're looking for to really say that we have moved forward. Man, I'll let you guys speechless. That's fantastic.
This year's a screwed up year. I mean, I'm curious what happens, honestly, once the remainder of the conferences was just what, the SEC? Is there any other conference that hasn't started playing yet other than them?
Well, the Big Ten is now threatening to come back here pretty soon.
Oh, no.
Pac-12 is
you made your decision. Out of here. Get out of here. You're done.
Well, apparently spring football to Big Ten means they can start in – is it Big Ten or Big Ten? Yeah, right? Big Ten's that backed out, right? Apparently spring football means you can begin in October. I guess that's when their spring begins.
Man, these seasons are getting really screwed up.
Well, what kind of sucks about that is you can push it back. You can do I'm sure they've been practicing and doing whatever they want to do and just taking that extra time, and now everybody's going to be like, yeah, that's cool because COVID, I guess. But no, you made your decision. You moved it. You're going to do it in the spring if you're going to do it.
Well, I do agree that they have forfeited their opportunity to be taking place in the college football playoffs. When you delay that, the playoffs should not be pushed back because of these two conferences delay their starts. If for some reason, 6 games into your season, you've proved to be a dominant force, maybe you get a nod that way. But no, I think that your college football playoff this year is going to come down to the teams that started within these first 3 weeks of college football. So
people that started on time, right? I mean, like we technically have started our season. It's not our fault that our first 2 games forfeit.
Right. And then the SEC, they have not started their season until this coming week. So,
but they're planning on ending it at the same time, right? They pushed it back because they cut it by 2 games.
Right.
So a little bit different. That's fine.
I think we're all in agreement. That's one rare thing we've all agreed on is it's got to be the team that started on time to actually get into that college football playoff.
Yes.
I am curious, though, is there like a minimum number of games that the college football playoff has set previously or this year that they have to get to in order to be considered?
I don't know the answer to that question, but what I do know is that the college football playoff is not administered by the NCAA. It's administered by the member conferences, so they can just do whatever they want to do.
They can just be like, hey, this year, right now, 8 games, you're in. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that. But you don't know what's going to happen. What happens if one of the teams has to back out and you've got a Georgia who's going crazy, and then Tennessee, whoever has a COVID nightmare and can't play. So now Georgia loses the game. That's not their fault. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those kind of things. I've said root for the chaos the entire time. So just root for the chaos. Like, let's hope that happens. Let's hope that some weird stuff happens as we get closer to December, and we've got no clue how teams are going to make it into those playoffs and what's going to be that final season standings or rankings.
And you sent a text right before we started here about the Arkansas State game got delayed, right? And I didn't click into it because it seemed boring at the time, and I figured you could probably tell me about it.
Well, they also had an ad blocker on there, so I couldn't actually read the article myself. But
well, you could just turn off your ad blocker and deal with the ads if you were truly interested. But it turns out it was boring, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm petty and passive aggressive, so that was enough for me just to click right out of their site. Provide me free information, and I'm going to give you nothing in return. But yeah, Central Arkansas State game scheduled for this week. I was going to bring that up, but you brought it up, so let's talk about it.
It seemed like a good segue. I feel like I did a service.
So I did look into it, though. They actually didn't cancel their game. They moved their game to October 10th. Arkansas State did. Oh, Arkansas State, Central Arkansas. That's actually good news for us because that is the Saturday before we're scheduled to play Arkansas State on that Thursday up there.
So now they don't have a bye, and they had a bye before?
They had a bye before. We had a bye.
They have a short week.
We still have a bye. So now we have an extra chance to prepare for Arkansas State.
Right on.
Maybe 2 years in a row we're able to knock them off. I mean, if they're having problems, maybe this is one of the first Sun Belt teams to have to close up shop or something. Memphis says that their COVID outbreak is because of their game against Arkansas State.
Ooh.
And so Memphis has they've canceled their game against Houston coming up this week as well. So the chaos is beginning, and I love it. I love it.
The reason I think I've talked about this a little bit, but the reason I'm pretty upset with Arkansas State is they recruited a guy named Ryan Graham, and I do have a Google alert set up for my own name, just in case. You never know when you might pop up in the news, and it turns out it pops up a lot when you have a football player who's a starter that's in the news. So.
Yeah. If I were to set up a Google alert for my name, I would get something every few minutes.
It's a pretty common name.
Josh, who we talked with a little bit earlier on, he posted a comment, something we didn't get to cover. I'm all in on the sports hate. Big believer in rivalry starting at the fan level. Hate that you call us Lafayette, but I do the same.
It's ooh la la. I feel like you got it wrong, man. It's ooh la la.
I found it hard to say ooh la la several times within doing this show. Like when we're out talking shit with each other, out tailgate and everything, it's very fun to say ooh la la. But when we're actually talking about a game and I'm saying it over and over again, and I'm drinking countless beers, saying ooh la la is hard. So actually, Lafayette was kind of somewhat showing respect by also kind of giving the digs in there. And actually, spoiler, here's a little preview teaser spoiler for the interview. At the end of it, Josh said, hey, I can't remember that guy on the show, but one of them, he has a lot of hate for Louisiana. By the way, Louisiana's in Lafayette. Lafayette College is in Pennsylvania or something like that. And I said, cool, I'll let him know.
It's you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's me, man. It's me. Yeah.
Aren't you the Louisiana hater? I mean, I don't have a lot of love for it, but I learned it all from you.
You learned from watching me, all right?
Picking up on their name, what do they like and what do they hate? What's the thing they hate the most being called?
Yeah, it's a good question. If Josh or Matt, you want to answer that there, what's the bigger dig? Is it being called Lafayette? Is it being called ooh la la, or just the whole Lafayette, Louisiana Lafayette thing? But I do want to answer kind of your question a little bit. We didn't talk about this at all. I don't know about you guys, but Georgia State fans definitely consider Lafayette to be a big rivalry in the realm of basketball. And not just a rivalry in the sense of wins and losses, but like a fan base, dislike fan base type thing. We've had our players and coaches have had some bad experiences down there. I know that we have retaliated in the sports arena here. So yeah, as far as Sun Belt rivalries go, even though this one's more based in basketball, I think there's gonna be a lot of fans, the fans that do show up, and there probably won't be a ton just because of all the precautions and everything. But this is a rivalry that's one of the top ones for us in the Sun Belt. So would you guys agree or disagree on that one? The show where we talk is the show where we talk to each other. I said something.
Yeah, so as far as basketball goes, I think you are absolutely right, and I'm super excited about how the rivalry has created itself. I mean, because not only is it the hatred between fan bases and like some of the heckling and all that stuff that goes on, and it has been sort of a back and forth. They've been at the top of the conference. We've been at the top of the conference. It's come down to us versus them multiple times now. And that's always exciting for creating a rivalry. And I do think that could shift to football as long as we kind of pick it up and do what we got to do. There's no reason it shouldn't shift to football as well. So,
yeah. Tim, you got anything to say on that?
No, I was just going to say I vaguely remember, I think it was a basketball game where Ron Hunter got on the mic on the court and said, "Hey, cut it out."
Oh, yeah. Well, why did he say that? What were the fans shouting? Bob Martin, you suck.
Yeah, I think
it's not even that bad. That's like that's the most G-rated chant I've heard out of our fans. It's not even that big of a deal, you know. And I actually did not, at the time I did not express as much frustration, but I'm like, Ron Hunter, like just do your coaching, man. Like what are you doing? Are you angling for a job in Louisiana? Is that what you're doing right now?
Good reference there. I like that. We got another question here from Matt. I feel like I did this whole interview, and now I'm having the Ragin Review interview us here, which is great. Honest question, score prediction, and why you feel that way. Who wants to field this one first?
Right. I already said I don't really care what the prediction itself is, but we're going to win by at least 10. So,
all right. What say you, Tim?
Let's see. I think we win 24-21.
I think we're going to have a much higher scoring game. I think that both teams put up probably in the 30s or 40s if Georgia State's defense. Georgia State's defense. Well, that's Georgia State defense, right? That's Georgia State defense giving up 30 or 40 points. If Quad is a legit replacement for Dan Ellington and can improve upon last year, and we can see an actual running game not drop off from Trey Barnett, I think that we have the ability to put up some points. So I'm predicting I'm predicting a high scoring game with a lot of ifs. I don't want to call winner or loser, but we all know that one team will be getting on a bus to go home and the other will be losers on an airplane.
Wow. All right, Madden. Oh, wait. No, that was good. No, that was actually good. I didn't realize what you did there. Sorry. My bad. A little slow.
I totally forgot. We have a guaranteed improvement on defense from our coordinator.
Scott. I mean, if Scott is to be believed, then our defense has made quite a turnaround and will pleasantly surprise all of us. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see him proven right.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Josh comes back on. Love the hate in basketball. We hate our basketball coach too, so we have some common ground.
Nice.
I knew I was really enjoying talking to you, Josh. I know you're not completely horrible out there. I love it.
He must not be from Louisiana. That works.
Why do they hate their coach? That's what I want to know.
This is their response to Ryan's delusional about the score prediction. Tim's cute, and really, I don't know, man. Come on, you think I'm going to come onto my own show and say we're going to lose the game?
We're 51-48. Updated prediction. Not telling you who's winning.
Excellent. Well, hell, man, we pushed right into score predictions. This is the first time the Cajuns come to Center Park Stadium. First time it's being called Center Park Stadium. This is a big, I guess the biggest week one for us, bigger than, obviously shorter. The very first game is the biggest game, but Kennesaw State is probably the biggest week one game for us at home since then. So this has got to be number 2, number 3 biggest game we've had to start the season.
Yeah, no, definitely. Kennesaw State was like that homegrown whatever, our FCS team, and we were kind of excited to play them, to play the local team. But I think we've kind of already outgrown that. It didn't take long, and this is like probably our biggest opener besides what was our pay game, last year. But we didn't know that. I mean, we thought we were sacrificial lambs last year. This is our first like very meaningful opening game, I think. So excited about it.
Yeah, so you're bigger one, bigger than Tennessee as far as what it means for the program. I mean,
I definitely think it is, and that's what I was saying earlier when I was talking about like which game would be a bigger win. Is The fact that a win against Ulala this weekend would actually set us up pretty well for as far as like our SBC rankings, and to me that's what matters the most. We can go to all the bowl games we want, whatever, but we need to be winning our championships. So,
yep.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, no one disagrees with that, right? Got to be winning that Sun Belt championship. Hosting it at Center Park.
Hosting would be ideal for sure. Yeah. Well, why shouldn't we be? I mean, App State's
right.
the East is such a tough division to be in. It's going to pretty much come down to Lafayette and Jonesboro. See, I'll call them Jonesboro. Does that sound better?
Jonesboro.
Lafayette and Jonesboro every year. And then, but you actually have some real competition. Obviously, App State and the pieces of crap down south are at the top. But then, there's any moment that Georgia State or Coastal break through to that level. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see what other questions we got there.
I'm definitely not worried about Coastal, by the way. I mean, Coastal, when they win, it sort of feels flukish. And watch them, they're going to beat us, and I'm going to call it a fluke. So, well, I won't remember this conversation, so I probably won't do that. But you'll all remember. Everyone listening right now, they'll remember that I said fluke.
They might look pretty strong.
We need that intern to be able to do the highlights for us, get those like sound bites, so we actually know what we said that sounded good versus all the other crap we say in our hour and a half long segment. All right, let's see. I think that's all I got for Lafayette this week. Well, you guys got anything else?
That's 30 minutes of Lafayette, dude.
Mac, Josh, feel free to keep on posting some questions. And
more than enough. Jesus, this is not the Ooh La La show.
But we're talking crap about them the entire time. So
that's right. They are kind of upset. You haven't been posting half the stuff they've been saying. They're all.
No, there's been a lot of comments coming through. The comment thread is great, but. All right. So yeah, it was a big weekend for the Sun Belt. Not just Lafayette over Iowa State, but Arkansas State and Coastal Carolina. Who Ryan's whipping boys there, Coastal Carolina, both posted P5 wins. Now, granted, Coastal's was over Kansas, who they beat last year. So it's
hey, that's a twofer, man. That means they deserved it, right? That wasn't a fluke.
It's about to be a threefer.
Yeah, because they scored it. They have another game now back in was it Conway that they play in? Yeah. Then Arkansas State beat Kansas State. I love some like comedic petty review I read of that, and they said that now that Arkansas State owns Kansas State, all they had to do was paint an AR in the front of all the street signs.
I saw that.
But yeah, so that's got a lot of attention with the other conferences not playing, and
3-0.
3-0 against the P5s. There were some crappy losses. Texas State had a shootout. They should have won that game. Did you guys watch that? And Ryan, I know you don't have to answer the question. Tim, did you watch that the end of that San Antonio Texas State game?
I did not watch that one.
So this game ended 51-48. It should have ended. That was double overtime. It should have ended a lot earlier. Texas State scored the winning touchdown, the 6 points, to tie the game. You need the point after to win, and they missed the point after. And then they go to overtime, double overtime. Then they finally miss a field goal as well to lose the game. That is some Georgia State stuff right there.
They pulled a Georgia State is what they did.
They don't have a Noel Ruiz. That's why.
Come on, man. That guy has not kicked an FBS football yet, so don't.
You gotta hype him, man. Hype him. Stud kicker on Georgia State.
That's exactly what Lafayette had last week. Stud kicker who had not kicked the FBS ball yet, or kicked one at least for them. So, but then
I watched some of the Tulane South Alabama game, and I stopped watching it after the half, and I was like, yeah, South Alabama has it, and then no,
they fell apart.
Tulane comes back. And I think they blanked South Alabama in the second half.
Did they? I didn't pay that much. That was a late
not in the second half. I think in the third. They didn't score in the fourth, I believe. Like, I think Tulane just came back and just took the rest of the game. I mean, another opening game in their stadium. I was kind of like cheering on it for them to win. I know you don't do that at all, David, but I wanted to see them.
Well, that's difficult, Tim. You're talking about South Alabama playing against a team from New Orleans. It's which two evil there, so I don't know which one I want to go. Which one I want to lose more. But yeah, but then the real funny, like the real slapstick comedy game for the Sun Belt this past week was the Georgia Southern game. Not even. It's like
barn burner.
They messed up there. They messed up there. They did not put that one on TV. They would have had every TV in Atlanta watching that game based off the way that score was going. Campbell was putting it to.
Did they win?
No, they lost by 1 because they went for the 2-point conversion.
What?
Instead of the point after.
Oh my God.
In overtime.
What?
Campbell took Southern to overtime.
Yeah.
Couldn't have happened to a worse team. It's fine.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if I'm not going to say to be fair, but Southern was down 33 players in that game, so they were starting pretty light.
Wait, what? Like starters? Yep. How many starters?
I don't know how many starters, but their depth was definitely not there.
Are they all sick? Do they have COVID? Like, what's the deal?
Not disclosed, so probably some form of COVID or
they all went to a party the night before and breathed.
They all took a bath in beautiful Eagle Creek.
Yeah.
I did watch the end of that one. I was like, oh, come on, Campbell. Don't go for 2 right now. Literally, don't do it.
No, I think it was the right call.
You do?
I do think it was the right call because, Campbell, although they've been doing well, once you put an option team like Southern right there in that red zone every single time, that's a difficult offense to defend that close to the goal. And so I think they felt like we've been doing a good job this game. We've won the moral victory already. Let's go ahead and get this done and over with, win the game, and be done. So as much as I would have loved to see Southern just lose that game and Campbell keep it going, I think they made the right call on that. I think it was a good call.
Campbell's quarterback, man. He's the real deal. Campbell, like, he had a little bit of Ellington-esque to his running and throwing abilities.
I was going to say, so he just ran it a lot? Is that?
No, I mean, he threw the ball quite a bit too, but I mean, when he ran the ball, he looked really good.
Yeah.
And of course, this is depleted sort of Southern defense, but
they face running quarterbacks in practice all day long, every day. So.
Right. That's right.
Every time, right?
Yeah. The thing that I thought that came out about Southern this week that I thought was almost as amusing, I didn't think anything would be more amusing than this about Southern until they nearly lost to Campbell, was they posted a Twitter photo of lighting their stadium blue, and they're calling it their true blue or some crap like that. They're literally taking our light it blue thing and doing the exact same thing we are. I think it's hilarious.
People mimic greatness,
Exactly. Well, yeah.
We have that win over them. I mean,
they could do light it white. That doesn't make any sense.
Just turn on the lights.
Just turn on the lights. We win. Light it gray. I don't know if there's a gray light tinge. They have gray, right? And then
if you want to do ultraviolet blue in that stadium, though, you'll probably see a lot of things you don't want to see.
Yeah. To the Ulala fans listening to this, because there's still a few, the one program that we will talk smack about even more than y'all will always be that school down south.
Yeah, I mean, actually, are the Cajuns? Is that the number 2 rivalry school for us at this point?
Who, the Cajuns right now?
Within the Sun Belt? I mean, obviously Southern's is the biggest rival out of all of college football, but within the I can't think of another team that we would actually have a bigger rival with right now than Lafayette. But I mean, obviously, mostly because of basketball.
It's because of basketball, but yeah, I think so. I think they've got enough points in basketball in that rivalry meter to kind of overcome a lot of the other football stuff. So, because there's not a ton of football rivalry right now, except for with Southern.
Yeah. I don't hate App, even though they've beaten us every time. I don't hate App State. I respect them, and they hate Southern, so I kind of like them because enemy of my enemy. Yeah, there was another good game between App State and Charlotte. Charlotte came out hard against App early. They ended up, losing by 15, but that was a pretty good game there at the beginning. And Charlotte actually lost their quarterback. I saw today he's out indefinitely, and so they've got their backup. And somebody on Twitter said that they don't actually have a scholarship backup player now to this new guy coming in. So that was a game that was kind of scary for us next week. That we got a game time for another nooner next week.
A nooner, that's not what that means.
It does when you're on this podcast.
I wish I had one.
It depends on how well we beat them.
That's fair.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
I'm like David.
We're on.
Calm down over there. He's like, I just can't stop.
We're on TV, right, David? ESPN, CBS Sports, one of those two. ESPN2, ESPNU. I don't know.
Which our game or Charlotte game? I think it's the ESPN2 game. Yeah. So John Weaver showed up to chime in that South Bama has the longer history. South Bama is a good rivalry. I really hated them that first time we played them.
Yeah.
But it just hasn't turned into much of anything since then. Like their fan base was pretty rabid back then, early too, and they've kind of shut up as well. So yeah, right. That is definitely a rival, I think.
It made a lot of sense, coming out the gate with them starting football at the same time as us. I think they started like a year earlier or a year later and played like a non-existent schedule for their first year and did some stuff a little bit different than us, and we compared ourselves to them a lot. But it just sort of like I just don't care a lot about South Alabama. Like that game doesn't do much for me. I don't care what they do week in and week out. Like I'm just not that interested.
I agree. Get some weird audio going on. I don't know what's happening there, but I'll clean that up in post.
I bet.
I have no idea what that means. Yeah, so coming up this week, other than us, you've got that canceled Arkansas State game. The Camels of Campbell are heading over to Coastal Carolina. So
going for their first Sun Belt upset win?
I guess so. FAU, Florida Atlantic, is heading to Statesboro, and they're actually a 2-point favor in the Eagle Creek.
Maybe. They said that they might not be going now.
Oh, yeah. I got that, but I forgot to put it in here. Yeah, I guess.
COVID strikes again.
But from the Florida Atlantic side, not from the southern side.
Right.
So that'd be a bummer. Then you got Appy at Marshall. Appy's ranked 24th now. There are
two ranked Sun Belt teams?
We have 2 ranked Sun Belt teams.
Two.
That's the first, isn't it?
It is.
It is a first. I mean, there's going to be an asterisk on that in the Hall of the record books forever about.
Who cares? Who cares? You know what? Of all the teams who decided to field a team, 2 SBC teams in the top 25. That's fine. Because when you don't field a team, you can't get counted.
So when we beat Lafayette this weekend, that means we take their spot, right? Or at least we get onto the boards at 25.
We should get on the board. Hopefully they move up to back to 25 and we move up to 19 or something.
And we move up to number 1 in the group of 5 guys.
That's right. Boom.
And they give us a lot of
really
credit. We're not doing so hot there right now, but I think that if we beat Lafayette, then we're not going to see 2 teams in the top 25 from the Sun Belt.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. And honestly, the way we get respected or lack thereof, there may still only be 1.
Yeah. Well, if you want to talk about disrespect, the next game is Texas State at Monroe. Now, Texas State is 0-2 now. Monroe, they lost their game, but Texas State is favored at Monroe by 4 points.
I think that's fair. I probably don't favor Monroe in any game ever. So.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I'm sure that our Ooh La La fans watching would also pick Texas State over Monroe as well.
It's not any kind of animosity, though. Like, it's not any kind of rivalry or anything. It is just a complete lack of respect.
Absolutely. Yeah, you should not be playing football. Like, people say that Georgia State should not be playing football. We know who says that. Anyhow, you just point to Monroe and go like, until they're gone, you really don't have an argument against us. All right.
I really want to think that way, but sure, that works too.
I mean, they should drop down. They are like the epitome of why the FBS FCS divide happened in the first place. And they really it's about budgets, and they don't have a budget. They need to be kind of moving on. I think I feel pretty strongly about it. Obviously.
All right, the state of Atlanta has voted. Monroe has been relegated to the FCS division or league.
You out. Oh wait, no, that way. Sorry.
No, you're out. Yeah.
I can't point. It's all backwards to me.
I got one thing left for this week's episode, which we're actually doing pretty good on time this week, I think. One thing left, and there's some news came out today. We've joked about how athletics would always push out news on Wednesdays when we have already recorded our episode, and so we actually kind of gotten a little loving from athletics.
It's like 2 or 3 weeks now in a row.
Well, now we're taking it to the next level. The university, the academic side, the administrative side of things has announced that President Becker is going to be retiring at the end of this fiscal year. And was it June, July, whatever that is? So
clearly they're wanting us to talk about it on the podcast, right?
What's that?
They released it today.
They released it today. They wanted us to talk about it. They wanted to get a little I think that maybe it was a test to see if we would talk about something other than sports related to Georgia State. And
well, the key is, do you think he'll still show basketball games in his leather jacket?
I hope so.
That's what I mean, that's all I care about. So
No, so he was there for 12 years. He was there from the inception of football through, purchasing Turner Field and, going FBS before that. I think he did a lot of great things for the university. We kind of knew that he probably was taking off here shortly. So kudos to him. I actually tweeted out today on the State of Atlanta account that we look forward to his statue standing next to Hank Aaron's at Center Park Stadium.
I don't mean to laugh so hard, but that would be amazing. I'm in full agreement. We have to do it. Let's start that. That's a GoFundMe that I think is achievable, and we should definitely work towards.
We can probably get our fundme to get a Funko Pop sized Mark Becker right next.
No. I want full size, and if we need him doing the whole Hank Aaron pose too, just cause. That'd be fun.
How about he's wearing his leather jacket like he does at the basketball?
Yes.
Man, you guys love that leather jacket. Collar pop too.
Yeah.
So Ben asked a question on Panther Talk about this, whether or not we should promote within or look nationally for his replacement. And I don't think that we really have any say so on it. That's like a University System of Georgia thing, but it may I mean us. Like I don't think ask us whatsoever at all. But you don't care. I don't really care. I mean, if there's somebody in place, great. But it is a huge job. He was the highest paid public university president in the nation.
Bank.
What?
So it's an attractive job. Yeah, it was like $850,000 or something like that.
Man, I need to apply. Get my resume in order.
Exactly. So is that on Indeed.com? Where do I gotta submit that thing? Yeah. So it's a huge job, obviously, for anybody to come in. And the most important thing is expanding the university from the academic side and administrative side. But this is a huge hire for athletics to see where we want to go next, the future of that. Everything. This is we need to get somebody in here that's really going to be, pro sports, pro athletics, pro Georgia State, pro Atlanta. That's going to kind of guide the team or the programs. So it'll be interesting. And hopefully the one thing he can do, they can fix the one wrong that Mark Becker created and get Album 88 back underneath.
Yes, that's really all I care about. That's true. That and AAC.
One thing that I want to point out that on Panther Talk is Run Panther. I don't know if she wants her name out there. Run Panther on Panther Talk. She said that the chancellor of the University System of Georgia is a Georgia State grad, and that will be someone who's involved making that decision. So that's good news, right?
Hope so.
You hope so, yeah. I mean,
I think it doesn't actually matter, right? Like a lot of them aren't thinking about like let's just like give them some bad president or whatever. Like people who are chancellors of the university system, people who are on the board of the university system want to see Georgia do well academically, and like president has so much more to do with that than it does to do with the sports and all that stuff. So like I don't actually have any indication thinking that anyone would like screw us over because of sports or something. That'd be dumb. That'd be really good.
I think.
What do they think we are, Bama?
I think we've invested enough in football that I don't think we walk away from it. Like you can make an argument years ago, and if we were in the Dome or in MBS, if you got a president that just wasn't supportive of athletics and football, Yeah, they could probably kill it if they wanted to enough.
So if the new president decides to get rid of football, then obviously this becomes a women's lacrosse podcast, and that's what Center Park Stadium is a women's lacrosse stadium, right?
That's right.
It's an expensive stadium for women's lacrosse.
All right, well, that's all I got this week before we head on to the last call, which I do have a couple of things. If anybody wants to join us on that, post.
You got to get Matt from Ulala on there. He was saying so.
Well, one of you guys message him the link that I send you guys when I send you the link.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. So thanks to Ryan, Tim, thanks for being here.
Yep.
Look for everyone else listening at home or watching on YouTube later on. Look for that part 2 of this episode, the interview with Josh from Ragin Review, and check out last call. Check out last call where we'll be possibly talking to one of the guys there again. And available free on Fridays. Available immediately on our Patreon members. Yeah, that's what I got for this week. How about you guys? All done?
That's it. Yep.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.